Welcome to the post-game pod. Ole Miss a victor over Auburn in game one of SEC play. We'll talk about that and kind of look ahead towards tomorrow and what's going on and everything like that, because I realize you guys all watch St. Peter's beat Kentucky, and that is the number one game that's out there. Hardcores are watching this, so we want to put something together for people that missed the game to see. This is the Locked On Ole Miss podcast.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, I am Stephen Willis. It's the Locked On Ole Miss podcast post-game pod. Ole Miss is a 13-6 leader over Auburn as I record this. It's in the bottom of the ninth. Just need 3 outs to go. If they do some kind of crazy run, I will re-record, but we're going to go ahead and act like this is kind of go according to script. Now, the things that really stick out in this game is Jacob Gonzalez is really good at baseball. I mean, that's just the way it goes. He's just really good at baseball. 2 home runs, just a menace to Auburn in the field. Auburn's a pretty good hitting team, by the way. They hit the ball pretty well tonight. They got at John Gaddis a little bit. John Gaddis left. No decision, but he was up like 7-4. He kind of settled down as he got going, but it is what it is. And they were to do that, and it was like I think it was the 6th inning. Let me check that real quick. Let's see. Yeah, the 6th inning. Auburn's defense just kind of went to hell, and Benny Hill music, dun, 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 started playing, and it all of a sudden the second baseman had a Steve Sachs, Chuck Knobloch syndrome. 2 runs scored off of that. Another one happened because the pitcher threw the ball away without calling timeout. It was a mess, and that really allowed the lead to be extended to what it went to. And because of that, 13-6, Josh Mallets is in trying to close it out. They're trying to save arms like Brandon Johnson just in case they need it for tomorrow. Now it's at the point where whoever goes in needs to throw strikes. He just needs to throw strikes, and that is the impressive thing. Man, I do love March Madness, and I love those brackets, but I can't remember the last time I actually went deep or even won money. I had Kentucky against St. Peter's. I'm hedging my bets this year with Stat Hero's Pick'em contest. Stat Hero's NCAA single-game Pick'ems pit star players against each other for an amazing hybrid between fantasy and sports gambling. Take control back from those handicappers that always seem to have the advantage. Start focusing on the players you know best with the gameplay that doesn't rely on big spreads, long odds, or funky props. Stat Hero gives you the advantage, resulting in their gamers winning 4 times more often. Why? Because Stat Hero eliminates the mystery about who or what you're going up against. So here's the call to action. Sign up for free right now at stathero.com/lockedon. Use promo code LOCKEDON for 100% deposit match. That's stathero.com/lockedon. Use promo code LOCKEDON for 100% match. stathero.com/lockedon. Promo code LOCKEDON. Terms and conditions apply. And also, this is the time of year whenever college basketball's tournament is finally upon us. From the latest odds to contest and players' props, BetOnline.net is the #1 source for all your sports betting needs and info. BetOnline remains the best spot for all of your sports scores, podcast, and news this season. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino games. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline, where the game starts. Now, Ole Miss is up 13-6 with 1 out in the bottom of the ninth. Auburn has 2 runners on. But this is a game that Jacob Gonzalez really stood out. And, lots of people think the SEC games mean a whole bunch. And they really do. In the terms of hosting, the SEC games are going to tell the tale. But the margin of error gets a little bit smaller from these non-conference losses. Like that Sela loss in midweek, the margin for error just dropped down just a little bit. Nothing catastrophic. Losses happen, and nobody's going to go undefeated. But if you're trying to get a national seed, there has to be different expectations than you normally have with just hosting. There's a difference between being the number 15 seed and hosting and the number 6 seed and hosting. The higher that number, the better. And it is what it is. Now, when it comes to this game, and Auburn was shambolic in the field in the 6th inning. They just threw the ball away. It was like a Little League game. I joked around on Twitter that it could have been McGee and West Jones in 1992. And that Chuck Knoplock play was like my high school career, like snapshotted in high school baseball. I started every game, but I just wasn't very good. And, you know, what it is. But in this game, you can't sweep Auburn unless you take the first one. Pitching-wise, you're going to face Auburn's primary, for lack of a better word, on Friday night. John Gaddis passed that test. Tomorrow, Derek Diamond has a chance to win the series. We'll cover that. We'll also look at Coach Yo's NCAA tournament team. I'm thinking about doing a post-game pod for that as well. And it's just a lot going on. But if they can get that second win and get that series win to where they can slugfest on Sunday for a chance at a Sunday win, this is a bonus. A road win, a sweep on the road is like a bonus game because the way it's set up is like go 2-1 at home, go 1-2 on the road. Everything else is bonus. That's kind of the secret to hosting in the SEC. So a 3-0 series at Auburn would be good. You can't get to 3-0 without the first win. So there's no sense in us like worrying about one game at a time because we're not playing those games. The players are playing those games. But they played a fantastic game tonight. Reagan Burford, a home run. Jacob Gonzalez, 2 home runs. Now, they were solo shots. I think the second pitch of the game and just another one. Peyton Chatagnier was 3 for 5 with a double. TJ McCants was 0 for 4 but had 2 runs. Tim Oko was 1 for 3. Got thrown out for third, trying to take third base, which is actually a good sign for him on an ACL. Justin Bench, 2 for 5. Hayden Dunhurst, 1 for 4. Hayden Leatherwood, 2 for 5. Kemp Alderman, 1 for 5. It looks like every starter, with the exception of TJ McCants, got a hit. Jacob Gonzalez and Reagan Burford were the RBI men. The double men was Elko and Chatagnier and Burford. Burford is a really good player at the plate, by the way. He just produces. He just produces, and there's something to be said about that. The game, by the way, Ole Miss is 3-2 count, 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. This game is nearing a conclusion. We need one pitch from Josh Mallets to close this out. Auburn with runners on first and third. That's just to give you a little image of where we are and what is going on. But I think that with Derek Diamond tomorrow, there's a chance that they can get that second win. And there's a strike 3 called. Ole Miss wins 13-6. It was a good opening SEC game for Ole Miss. The bullpen, they used Dylan DeLucia and John Gaddis, but closed it out with Josh Malice. You still have Brandon Johnson available, and you still have your lefties out of the bullpen. There's options, and we'll see what happens. I am interested to see what will happen on Sunday. I don't know who will start and everything will go on, how that will look. But, I mean, it is what it is. But thank you very much for tuning in. Ole Miss, a 13-6 winner. If you watched March Madness all day, 13-6. Big 6th inning, put it away. 14 hits, 13 runs, 6 left on base. Auburn ended up with 14 hits, 6 runs, and 5 errors, 11 left on base. But that's a big game. Tune in tomorrow. We'll do another post-game pod for baseball, and we'll probably do one for Coach Yo and basketball since that game is at 12:30 Eastern. So stick around for that. Hope everybody had a good time watching this game. We'll see you tomorrow. Hotty toddy.